From some insane behind-the-scenes drama to weird plot lines on the show that the cast weren't huge fans of. Here's the real reason why the Blue Bloods cast hates the show. Now, one would think that the on-screen drama would be enough, but you best believe it extends behind the scenes. Though the show has gained a lot of popularity, with 13 seasons in and a renewal for the 14th, they must be doing something right. But there seems to be more bad blood than blue blood where the cast is concerned. Some of the actors were let go, and some decided to leave on their own. But it wasn't smooth sailing, and they had a lot to say about it.
Is there progress on the drug heist?
CSU is going through the van we recovered a fine-tooth comb, as you can imagine. They'll expedite the prints, and we should hear something this afternoon.
Amy Carlson's exit left everyone utterly shocked. She has been there since season 1. Although her character became one of the main leads by the time she reached season 5, there's no denying that she stuck with them for a long time and was disappointed by the way they cut her off, to say the least. Her 7-year contract ended with them, and while she decided to not remain in the show, the way the writers just killed her character off so abruptly in a helicopter crash was something no one was prepared for. She wasn't given any farewell episode. It was like a side thing, barely addressed in the show. Donnie Wahlberg's character is shown to be visiting her grave. The fans and cast members both were outraged. Her goodbye note to the fans has almost 1.1 million views, with countless retweets from them about how unfair they found the whole thing. She even admitted in an interview with Deadline that she had no clue as to why the writers did that, and if it were up to her, it wouldn't have turned out this way. Ouch! She wasn't even asked to come back just to shoot a farewell scene at the start of season 8. Her co-actor Donnie also mentioned that he missed her, and when he cried about her death on the show, they were real tears for a friend. This isn't even the worst of it. As it turns out, the CBS network's representative lied about Jennifer Esposito's departure. According to the statement released, she left the show of her own will.
Why he turned off these security cameras? Because Grushenko obviously didn't do it for the privacy of himself and his guests.
This guy must have been begging to die before the end of this.
As there was only a limited amount of time she could give them, and as it wasn't matching the idea that the writers had in mind for her character. What put the network under fire was when she decided to call them out on social media. What had happened was that the actress was diagnosed with celiac disease. She wasn't able to give her full time to the show because of the routine prescribed to her by her doctor. Because of the seriousness of the whole thing, the show even stopped paying her because they thought she was lying to them, thinking that she was doing all of this to get a pay raise, as she had asked for one before. It gets worse because she told Fox News that they also banned her from working anywhere else, which is a low blow if I'm being honest. Obviously, all this ill treatment led to her ultimately leaving the show. She said the injustice made her sick to think that people can behave like this when it comes to someone becoming ill. CBS never made any clarifications about what she tweeted. Neither did they acknowledge such a thing ever having happened. Needless to say, it was very disgusting behavior on the network's part. When she was replaced by the actor Megan Boone, Esposito was enraged and called the cast and crew racists. She said that they just needed an excuse to push out the only minority cast just so they could have an all-white cast. It didn't do anything to the network or the show, but did result in her career spiraling from there on out. She hasn't been cast in any prominent roles ever since, except for Amazon's The Boys. But these aren't the only issues. Cast members working on the show have also experienced problems. There's one that's completely bizarre, since the audience loves the chemistry. Will Estes did not want his character to be in a relationship with Jamie. Whoa! Turns out that during an interview with Glitter magazine in 2021, he revealed that he was very opposed to the idea of the characters falling in love, to the point that he hated it. He said that it felt to him like it'd take the interest away from the show. The tension between the characters before any relationship is developed is what keeps the viewers entertained. By losing that, they'll lose that narrative and fall into a dull romantic storyline. But in reality, reality, he was proved wrong. As time went by and he became close friends with co-star Vanessa Ray, their relationship on screen also developed beautifully, and there was no end to the sparks either. They became the audience's beloved couple. He also admitted that working with her became one of his favorite things about working on the show. But he wasn't the only one that had problems with this storyline. Tom Selleck wasn't very enthusiastic about the budding romance either. When the couple finally got engaged on the show, and he was asked about what he felt in regards to this at the Paley Fest, New York, he explained it in 2 words. Remember Moonlighting? And that was all that needed to be said. Moonlighting was a 1980s show that starred Bruce Willis. It put him on the map, but the show was a hit for only 67 episodes. It was about these 2 detectives that get together at work. The show tried to include a lot of genres into one, like comedy, drama, and romance. And as luck would have it, it wasn't well received by the viewers after a while.
Strangle him.
No strangling on Sunday, okay, sunshine?
Okay, Pops.
Danny did what he had to do.
Well, I knew you would take his side.
I say what I think.
And look where it got you.
With the Blue Bloods, everyone thought it was a very tacky storyline, as it had been happening in every other show, and it rarely worked out in the long run. Well, in this case, only time will tell, because right now, Jamie and Eddie seem to be going very strong. There's another thing that's completely unbearable for the cast: the family dinners. Turns out these are hellish to shoot. Tom said there's one thing that makes them all miserable, and that's the eating. It turns out that the actors have to eat the same food countless times until the shots have been approved and finalized. And sometimes it takes 8 hours to finally get the scene done. Ugh, imagine that. The cast even pushed the show to ensure that there was no broccoli on their plates. According to Donnie Wahlberg, after eating it for 3 hours, it becomes problematic. It makes sense because they wouldn't want everyone needing a toilet break, prolonging the shoot even more. Another thing that's crazy is getting all the cast together for the scene. With so many people in the room, it naturally causes a racket.
It sounds kind of like you are.
New York does have a zero-tolerance policy for gun crimes.
Hey, whose side are you on?
Yeah, Dad. Whose side are you on?
So pulling it off becomes a challenge with cameras situated at different places and taken from different angles. And that brings us to the fact that they're not eating with real cutlery. The noise of the spoons and forks was being resonated in the mic more than the actual conversation taking place. That's why they started using fake plastic cutlery. And eating with that is a task in itself. Selleck mentioned that once he was eating chicken, he broke the knife cutting it up. But all in all, everyone enjoys getting together, as most of the scenes don't have all the characters in the same place at once. The cast generally is very friendly and caring towards each other. But as they say, wherever there are humans, chaos is bound to follow. Here's hoping it doesn't turn out this way for them. Having said that, that's all for now on The Real Reason the Blue Bloods cast hates the show.